Sri Gurubhyo Namaha children, you are welcome for online class Ekkaleva. Children, class 11, this is your unit 2 supplementary reader. The lesson name is A Shot in the Dark. It is your part 2. In part 1, we already learned that there was Sletherby and his companion was just hunting something, and he was just making a shout, and he was very angry, and he just grumbles himself and searching something. And this had been noticed by Sletherby, but he was not talking anything, he was just sitting and reading the newspaper. This was the part which we saw in the first part, and we will be continuing the lesson in the second part. Okay, so when he was searching, he found a matchbox, a cigarette case and some key and that ticket, but that all is not needed for him. He needed something, and again he gets angry and he was just shouting, he was just making a sound, and he was searching for the thing, very irritated in searching, and he was just grumbling to himself and he was searching. I say, exclaimed a young voice presently, didn't I hear you say you were going down to stay with Mrs. Salpenjago at Brill Manor? What a coincidence. My matter, you know. I'm coming on there on Monday evening, so we shall meet. I'm quite a stranger, haven't seen the matter for 6 months at least. I was away yachting last time. She was in town. I'm Britty, the second son, you know. I say it's an awfully lucky coincidence that I should run across someone who knows the matter just at this particular moment. I have done a damned awkward thing. So now Betty is very clearly explained. The person who is traveling with him is Betty, Salpenjago's son, and he was just telling. I say, exclaimed the young voice presently. So a young voice is just telling to Sletherby that he was a young person, and I didn't hear you say you were going down to. So I hear that you were going to Salpenjago's house, that is Brill Manor. What a coincidence. I'm also from there. I'm a younger son, and you know that I've just left 6 months back, and now in this Monday I'll be just meeting you there. So we shall meet. I'm quite strangers, but till we are meeting, I'm a quite stranger. Haven't seen the matter for 6 months at least. So I'm a stranger, quite stranger, because for 6 months I have not seen my place. I left my place Monroe and my mother 6 months back, and I was away yachting last time. She was in town. So I was yachting, she was in the town. I'm Britty, the second son, you know. I say it's an awfully lucky coincidence. So it is a coincidence, and I'm a second son. My name is Britty, and anyway I'll be meeting you on Monday there. I say it's an awfully lucky coincidence that I should run across someone who knows the matter just at this particular moment. I've done a damned awkward thing. So he is telling that I've done an awkward thing. Damn an awkward thing. No one will do like that. Absent-mindedly I left my purse and other things there. So I've just made a mistake by just keeping it. So I need someone to help now. So he was asking help from the Sletherby. Whether he is helping, let us see. You have lost something, haven't you? Said Sletherby. So Sletherby is saying, yeah, you have lost something. I'm right, he was asking. Not exactly, but left behind. So I have not lost. Not exactly what you say, but left behind, which is almost as bad, just as inconvenient anyway. So it is very bad that I have just forgot to bring, and I left and came, and it is, my situation is going to be very tough now. Just as inconvenient anyway. Anyway, it is toughest thing I am going to face. I have come across without my sovereign purse. So I left my sovereign purse there. I have come away without my sovereign purse with 4 quid in it, all my worldly wealth for the moment. So for the moment I had only 4 quid, and that also in a sovereign purse, and I have left that purse at the room. It was in my pocket all right just before I was starting, and then I wanted to seal a letter, and the sovereign purse happens to have my crest on it, so I whipped it out to stamp the seal with, and like a double distilled idiot, I must have left it on the table. I had some silver loose in my pocket, but after I paid for a taxi and my ticket, I would only got this forlorn little sixpence left. I am stopping at a little country inn near Bronquay for 3 days fishing. Not a soul knows me there, and my weekend bill and tips and cab to and from the station and my ticket on to Brill, that will mount up to 2 or 3 quid, won't it? If you wouldn't mind lending me £2.10 or 3 for preference, I shall be awfully obliged. It will pull me out of no end of a hole. So the person was asking him, he was saying that, see, 3 more days I am going to stay in the place, and that village nobody knows me, and so I want a money to cab and to stay there, and for the fishing and for eating and drinking and staying. So he needs 3 quid, and he was asking, if you lending me £2 and something, said it will be, or £3 exactly, he'll be just returning when he was just going to his place. I think I can manage that, said Sletherby after a moment hesitation. So he says that I can manage that, he was saying with an hesitation. Thanks awfully. It's a jolly good of you. What a lucky thing for me that I should have chanced across one of the matters, friend. It will be a lesson to me not to leave my excure lying out anywhere when it ought to be in my pocket. I suppose the moral of the whole thing is don't try and convert things to purpose for which they weren't intended. Still, when a sovereign purse has your crest on it. So he was just telling, he was having in a purse 2 crest shaped, and he was having a stamp and his mother's stamp. So he will be just taken that for taking the purse, and when he was just punching it and he forgot to keep that purse in his pocket, and so he left there in the place itself. So here he needs money to go to his place as well as to stay for 3 days there, and if he is helping, it will be nice thing, he was just telling. And now he was just asking what is the crest he was having. So he was having a crest. He was just asking what is the shape of the crest and what is the stamp shape or whatever it is he was asking. So he was just explaining. He was asking, what is your crest, by the way? Sletherby asked carelessly. What is your crest, by the way? Sletherby asked carelessly. Not a very common one, said the youth. A demi-lion holding a crosslet in its paw. So you can see the symbol here. So it will be just like a crest, a lion, demi-lion holding a crosslet in its paw. So it will be having a crosslets in its paw. When your mother wrote to me giving me a list of trains, she had, if I remember rightly, a greyhound cornet on her note paper, absorbed Sletherby. There was a tinge of coldness in his voice. So now he was asking, what is your crest, that is the stamp shape. You will be having a stamp, and what is the crest of it. He was telling that it was a demi-lion, but he is saying that your mother sent me the thing and it was greyhound cornet on her note paper, observed Sletherby. There was a tinge of a cold in his voice. That is Jago crest, responded the youth promptly. The demi-lion is the Salpin crest. We have the right to use both, but I always use the demi-lion because after all we are really Salpans. So he was telling that Salpans is family thing for lion, and the other one is my mother's, it is Salpan Jagos, and the lion demi is Salpans, a family thing, and everybody will be using, and I prefer that lion one. There was silence for a moment or two, and the young man began to collect his fishing tackle and other belongings from the rack. "My station is the next one," he announced. "I have never met your mother," said Slitherby suddenly. "Though we have corresponded several times, my introduction to her was through political friends. Does she resemble you at all in feature? I should rather like to able to pick her out if she happened to be on the platform to meet me." So here now he says that I have not met your mother. So the young Betty was saying that it is the station he have to get down and it is time for him, and he was just taking fishing rod and other things, and he was asking whether it is, "I have never met your mother," said Slitherby suddenly. "Though we have corresponded," see, we have corresponded a lot, we have spoke a lot, but I have not met her, and it is going to be my first meet, and suppose if I happen to see her on the station, I have to identify her. So will you please describe your mother, how she'll be like you, or is she resemble you at all in feature? I should rather like to be able to pick her out if she happened to be on the platform to meet me. She is supposed to be like me. She has the same dark brown hair and eye." So the son says that she was like me. She was having same dark brown hair. So she was having a dark brown hair color. It runs in her family. So it was her family color. "I see, this is where I get out. So now it is time for me to get out." "Goodbye," said Slitherby. Slitherby was saying goodbye. "You have forgotten the 3 quid, said the young man, opening the carriage door and pitching his suitcase onto the platform. So when he was taking all his luggage and just getting down, he was saying that, "You forgot about the 3 quid you just told me to give," and was saying goodbye. "I have no intention of lending you 3 pounds or 3 shillings, said Slitherby severely. So he says that, "I am not ready to lend you any money. It is a pound or shillings, I am not ready to lend you." So it was very clear. He says that he is not going to lend any money. Just think over, because the Slitherby was having a doubt. He was asking his mother, and he was just asking about the stamp, so that he want a clear picture, and as a wise person he thinks that he was great and he was wise, and let us see really he is wise or great. "And I have no intention of lending you a 3 pounds or 3 shillings, said Slitherby. "But you said," so he was saying, "but you said you will be giving." So he was asking, he was just stopping, he was not completing the sentence. He was asking, "But you said." "I know I did." So he's saying that, "I know I did. My suspicions hadn't been rose then, though I hadn't necessarily swallowed your story. The dispensary about the crest but me on my guard, notwithstanding the really brilliant way in which you accounted for it, then I laid a trap for you. I told you that I had never met Mrs. Salpenjago. As a matter of fact, I met her at lunch on Monday last. She is pronounced blonde." So now he is saying that, I was just asking you second time too. I said you that I promise you that I will be giving, but I was asking about the stamp, and the stamp which your mother was using different, and what you were saying is different. So it is very clear that you are a cheat, and you are not really a son of her or what. So actually he is the second son of her, but the blonde which he is using just makes. And next he was saying that, "I want to give a test for you." "What is the test, you know?" "I have just asked you how your mother will be, but you were not giving a good description about her, because last Monday only I met her and I lunched with her, and this is second meeting of me." So you say, "And she was not like you." So you said that she was like you. So okay, so she was blonde, pronounced blonde. She was not having a brown hair, she was having a blonde. The train moved on, leaving the sheer distance, carriage of the Salpenjago's family cursing furiously on the platform. So now he was just cursing, and he was cursing the family. The Solpen Jago's son was cursing, his family was cursing on the platform. He was cursing Slitherby and just moving because he had not lent the money. So actually he was talking the truth, and this was not known to Slitherby. So he thinks that he was wise, and he was just thinking he was a great person. And this made Solpen Jago's son, youngest son Betty, just cursing on the platform, taking all his baggage and luggages, and he was just continuing. Let us see that he really realized when he met, or how he understood that really was Solpen Jago's Betty was second son. How he comes to know, we'll be just seeing in the next part, children. Until then, we'll be completing. Thank you, children. To receive our online lessons, please press the subscribe button and you will receive the latest updates. Thank you, children.